Well, a local dog rescuer is voicing her concerns after discovering several dog carcasses and two extremely malnourished dogs at an abandoned house in central Paso. We're bringing in ARC reporter Julia Spencer, who actually heard from the woman who rescued the two dogs from the seemingly abandoned house and spoke to Animal Services of El Paso, who say this case is more common than they'd like to admit. Julia, can you talk to us about what you saw out there?
Well, Vanya, this is the house right behind me where those two dogs were saved by that rescuer. This house is allegedly abandoned. There is a notice on their front gate here from police citing them for some issues here about this house. Now, it does look very empty, a lot of damage and overgrown plants here. But this is where those two dogs were rescued, and this is where several dog carcasses were found. So it was a shocking sight. And, the images and video that were shared with me from that rescuer, those images are shocking too. Go ahead and take a look.
Is there anything alive in there?
Elena Perez is a local animal rescuer who says she rescues 60 to 70 dogs a month. Just last night, she helped rescue two more that were left in this abandoned home.
Around 10 o'clock, animal control hadn't been out there yet, and the temperatures were going to drop. So my husband and I grabbed our equipment and we headed for the abandoned house.
That's when Elena and her husband found these two Chihuahua dogs left alone in the backyard.
The floor, everything is dilapidated, everything is falling down inside. But the back, there was tons of garbage and no shelter for the dogs.
But the situation was worse than she had expected when she found skeletons within the house.
There was multiple dead carcasses inside. I mean, they had been there for a while.
Animal Services says the house is currently vacant with no one living there. And a situation like this isn't completely unheard of.
It's not a surprising story. We often get a lot of calls regarding either dogs that are in a property without proper attention or proper standards of care.
And those who abandon their dogs can face serious consequences.
Anybody that is in violation with a cruelty can face up to a felony charge here in the state of Texas. It could be up to $2,000 fines, depending on the severity of the violation and also the judicial court.
So Julia, really heartbreaking story and very shocking images to see. What kind of consequences could the owners face, if any?
I spoke to Animal Services, and people could get fined up to $2,000, which is actually a lot of money, and people don't realize that. Some people can even be hit with a felony charge here in the state of Texas. So it's kind of shocking, even seeing the bones within this house. I think that's a shocking image to anyone. But again, this case has been taken over by El Paso Police's Cruelty Department for further investigation.
Well, thank you so much, Julia, for your reporting.